I think this is fascinating that we have somebody who has an immediate need of us. So perhaps you can, say a few things, ask a few questions to help steer Neil.
Definitely. And Cecilia, I think this would be relevant for you too. So, Neil, that strategy used to work really well. And I have noticed even in my own clients that there has been a decline on responses from LinkedIn. So, originally it was if you wrote a custom message, that was the best approach. Then it turned into if you write a custom message, all of a sudden they get a little stressed out, even if it's a very low stress ask, and then they don't respond. The next approach was just connect with them, don't write a custom message, just let it be. And that used to work for a little bit. And then I think that this past summer, I have seen a decline. And I think it's partially because we're in a flat job market at this moment. So part of it is completely out of our control. There's just a lot of qualified people and not as many jobs available. So that is part of it. And people are getting inundated with popular companies saying, hey, I'd love to work there. So a couple methods I recommend is one, if you're going to reach out to someone that is a recruiter or someone of relevance at a company, even for an informational interview, make sure that you have their career page up and have written down the vacancy number, any bit of information there, because that way they can make it faster. Some companies have a specific referral code that they can send you to apply that kind of sends you through a different route at a company. So like that's true for, I was just looking at a healthcare company that was the case. So looking up to see if they have a custom referral link, they may be more likely to respond back because they get some like financial benefit from it if you end up going through. So to have that, you just need the vacancy number and to make that point. Part of the problem with this cold networking is that you kind of hope you plant a seed and that they'll remember you and come back to you. But with how much we've been communicating online, especially since COVID, I think that it's just not top of mind anymore. So you kind of have to take that extra initiative to get back in touch in a couple months and say, hey, I saw this job pop up. Do you think that you could let the hiring manager know, as opposed to them saying, oh, Neil was awesome, we should reach out. Sometimes that happens, but a lot of times I've noticed it's just there's too much conversation happening and it's just not top of mind anymore unless they just happen to have their LinkedIn open. So that's the first bit of info. Neil, what are your thoughts there?
I used to do something similar to that where I would see an opening. I would look at, if I don't have any firsts, who are my seconds, find out who I would have in common, ask for an introduction, and talk. And I did that. Sometimes it worked. I got the interview. Sometimes I didn't. But the strategy that I just explained is I'm connecting with these people. I don't even know if there's a job opening.
Sure.
The whole point is to develop relationships with people at my target company, period. Job opening or no job opening.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't even know if there is one. And the point is, it's for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I'm doing for the long term. Okay, there may not be a job opening for me there for 4 months. That's fine. I just want to develop a relationship with as many people as I can at these companies. So first, I got to develop the relationship, which I'm trying to do. I've sent a couple notes out to people. First of all, they connect. They don't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. That's fine. I'll go back and I'll say, thank you for connecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll mention something about the hour vertical, which because I want to talk business. I want them to know. I want them to talk. I don't want to tell them about me.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to talk to think, oh, this person is interested in me, or the industry. Just talk shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very passive on it because at one time I was just the opposite, where I was really not in your face, but relatively assertive. So I decided, okay, I've talked with a few friends and they said, you might want to back off a bit. I said, okay, especially if it's cold. I backed off and I sent a few notes to people like, 2 or 3 notes and I haven't heard anything. And I even sent one to this one person. I noticed she used to work at the company where I'm working now, and I didn't say that I did. I said, oh, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about your experience at the company because I have a friend that works there, something. And I get nothing.
It can be really hard. I know exactly what you're talking about too. That approach, it used to work. Like there was a time that would have gotten you a ton of responses. So part of it is just the changing of the tide, which
Okay.
I usually recommend that to my clients, like get information before there's even a job opening. But I think right now it's one, that call to action is really important of like, I would love to schedule a call in the next 2 weeks to discuss these specific things. So part of it is doing a call to action. The second
Okay.
also seeing if on their contact info on their LinkedIn, if they have an email address, because some people are just horrible at being on LinkedIn. So it's just easier to get them there. But I think as of late, especially this summer, I think that the best approach right now, it's kind of to go back to like the way it used to be, is attending different networking groups and kind of getting yourself into different populations where that's already their mindset. So like I'm in a networking group, there's a bunch of Chamber of Commerce events. Some of those can be helpful just to get in front of people. So that way you're not just hoping they respond. You can have this real conversation. And that way I think it leaves a little more of an impression, especially when you meet in person. So I would look at both like local events happening, even if they're not networking related, just something related to the types of jobs you want, either at a company of interest or like some type of relation, like if you like national security or something, going to
Mm-hmm.
a think tank event. So some of those, I think it's going to be helpful for you, especially if you're just not seeing a lot of movement online. Some of it is just out of your control. So I would almost take a breather from the online approach, try some in person and see how that kind of plays out.